The Fullerton Pizza Time Theater on Orangethorpe Avenue opened in March 1980 as just the 9th Pizza Time Theater location ever opened. It was also originally a franchised location. It was also the second Pizza Time Theater location to be opened in Southern California. The company had just started expanding to the area at the time and had begun planning locations in Covina, Huntington Beach, Santa Ana, and La Habra. All would eventually be opened except for the Santa Ana location, which was cancelled. The Fullerton location originally opened with a portrait stage like every other location at the time. They would originally have Foxy Colleen as their guest star. On the day of the grand opening, Chucky was flown in by an airplane at the Orange County Airport, and the former mayor of Fullerton, Dwayne Winters, and Fullerton manager Richard Roop were given the first pizza made at the location. Hundreds of people attended the Fullerton location's grand opening. When the location first opened, there was no animatronic show in their cabaret area. The stage area would remain vacant until a Dolly Dimples would be sent to the location a few weeks later. The Fullerton building's walls were orange and had small portions of wood paneling, like all of the first few Pizza Time Theater locations did. All of the cabaret room walls used wood paneling. The location would possibly receive a minor remodel in 1981 or 1982, where the exterior sign was updated to the 1981 Pizza Time Theater logo, and the interior updated with new decor. But I think the location wasn't remodeled at all, because these photos from May 1982 still show the original wall art. Other than this possible remodel, the location would remain the same from when it first opened. The location would initially survive the 1984 bankruptcy and was bought by corporate on October 22, 1984, along with around 50 other locations. This most likely meant that the company originally intended to keep the Fullerton location open. The company even shut down the La Habra Pizza Time Theater nearby. However, the location would be permanently closed just a year later, sometime between September and December of 1985. The reason for the closure is currently unknown. One possible reason is that the restaurant began underperforming after the bankruptcy, like many other locations did at the time. The building would then become several businesses in the years after the closure, and the location is now home to B1 Shabu and Barbecue. The inside of the old building is almost completely unrecognizable today. The whereabouts of the Fullerton location's portrait stage cyberamics are now unknown, but they were most likely thrown out or auctioned off after the location's closure. The Fullerton Chuck E. Cheese on Harbor Boulevard opened on December 17, 1991 in the Fullerton Town Center, next to the Toys R Us store that had just opened 4 months earlier. It would open just 6 minutes away from the original location site. The Fullerton location originally opened with a 3-stage show converted from a show that originally came from creative engineering. The Fullerton location's 3-stage show also appeared to not have Munch Jr. or Pizza Cam. Fullerton was the first out of 3 Chuck E. Cheese locations to open with a 3-stage. The others would be Tallahassee, Florida in April 1992 and Guatemala City, Guatemala in 1996. which got their 3-stage from a previous Guatemala City location. The Guatemala location also opened with a 2-stage. It is unknown why the Fullerton and Tallahassee locations opened with 3-stage animatronic shows. One possible reason that I find interesting is that these locations were in development as Showbiz pizza places, but the plans were changed after concept unification began and the 3-stage animatronics were never taken out of the location plan. The restaurant would open with the typical artwork for the locations of the time period. Fullerton's Chucky walkaround character also had a derby hat. The location would also sell beer. The Fullerton location was very profitable and popular in the city of Fullerton. The location would remain the same for several years until the mid-1990s, when it would remodel to Phase 1, which added sky tubes, kid check, and new games. Sometime between the late 1990s and early 2000s, the location's 3-stage bots would have their original latex masks replaced with new plastic masks. Chucky's original tuxedo outfit was also replaced with a new outfit with a blue and yellow shirt and shorts. The Fullerton location was remodeled once again to Phase 3 by the year 2003, which added the toddler zone, ticket munchers, and new games. By the late 2000s, the Fullerton location's 3-stage animatronics began to break down, and could be seen barely moving in this January 2007 video. That video would be the last video of the Fullerton location's 3-stage because just 6 months later, in June 2007, the Fullerton location would begin remodeling to the 2005 Cool Chuck remodel. The remodel would paint select walls purple and removed all older decor for brand new posters and wall art like these Chucky tokens. The older decor that did stay would be relocated around the building. New booths and fluorescent lighting were also added. The exterior was also remodeled with brown checkers and the new Chuck E. Cheese logo. New purple and red awnings also replaced the original red and yellow awnings. This remodel also removed the 3-stage and the whole showroom from the back of the restaurant. And a 16-movement Studio C beta would be installed in the former game area near the front of the entrance of the store. After the showroom was demolished, games would be put in the former area. The Fullerton location would never receive another remodel. In early 2020, most of the Fullerton location would be closed due to the pandemic that was going on. They would only be open for takeout. The location would remain like this for a few months until they permanently closed on November 17, 2020, after nearly 29 years in operation due to the pandemic, along with many other locations. Shortly after the closure, the Chuck E. Cheese sign from the building would be removed. The building would then be completely gutted. Soon after, construction began on the space to convert it into a Five Below. After a few months of construction, the Five Below would open in the space. A local host internet cafe would also open in a small space in the corner of the original Chuck E. Cheese building. The two businesses would be connected with a door inside the building leading to each store. The original Chuck E. Cheese exterior remained completely intact. Even the original Chuck E. Cheese entrance would be used for a local host location. After the location's closure, their Gemini light used for their Studio C beta was sent to a Chuck E. Cheese location in Orlando, Florida for their Studio C alpha, but it was removed in April 2023 during the location's 2.0 remodel. As of October 2023, The Five Below and localhost are still in the building. It is unknown what happened to the Fullerton location's original Creative Engineering 3-stage bots, but they are now most likely destroyed. The whereabouts of the location's 16-movement Studio C beta animatronic is also unknown.